We have an event this week on Thursday, the 19th. We are providing food for an event Grandma Grass and Livestock is hosting. It's called Dreaming Up the Grasslands Together. If you don't know anything about Grandma Grass and Livestock, they are truly a mission-driven organization. They happen to fund it by selling beef to people. The beef comes from cattle that graze the land all over Boulder County, and the purpose of that grazing is to regenerate the land. For the event this week, I went to pick up some beef at Grandma HQ. I should have taken some video of that, but I didn't. And also found out that they got these sweet new hats. One of the things I love about Grandma is, if you look at the hat, it's a cow with a moon over it, symbolizing, you know, the holistic approach to raising cattle and to regenerating the land. I have very little time right now, so I'm just gonna bang out some pastrami brine. We're making pastrami for the event. We're gonna have some of our beef and butter sandwiches, and the beef is Grandma brisket. And we're gonna make that into pastrami, slice it thin, put it on some baguette from dry storage, and with some butter and pickles. Start out with making pastrami brine. This is 4 liters, which is about what I wanna make of brine total. What I'm gonna do first of all is heat up 2 liters of it. Doesn't have to be exact. The point is that I'm going to heat up 2 liters of it, dissolve the salt and sugar, put in the pickling spice, and then that water will be hot. I don't want to put the briskets in hot water, so I'm going to cool it off with the remaining 2 liters, and then at that point it should be tepid, which is exactly where I want it. I want to put the briskets in tepid water. Everything's weighed, everything's in grams, so much easier. 350 grams of salt. Looking for 225 grams of sugar. Everything we use is organic. All the spices, sugar, 90 grams of brown sugar, 8 grams of pickling spice, black pepper, coriander, some obviously dried bay, clove, allspice, 60 grams of honey. Pro tip, I use a scale that goes negative, and then you don't have to get some things messy sometimes. I just teared out the scale to 0. Now when I take this off, it's out now at negative 721 grams. For context, the amount of honey in here is 690 grams. I would like to use 60 grams, so, you know, about 1/10. So, you know, I'm gonna squeeze down to his eyes, maybe down to the middle of his nose, and see where we're at. 44, 57, 60, pow. And that's it. Now I'm just waiting for it to heat up and dissolve. It really doesn't look like much brine right now, but my notes say that it's good for about 15 pounds of meat, which is pretty much right where I want to be. This is simmering, going in with my next 2 liters of water to get to the requisite amount and temperature of brine that I'm looking for. So after that, it went from I didn't measure it, but it was simmering, so around 200 to 112. And then this brisket's very cold, so it's not going to cook at all. It's going to chill the brine down. My favorite cookbook in the world, the Zuni Cafe cookbook, Judy Rogers writes that meat should go in brine when the brine is at a lukewarm, tepid temperature. It helps the meat absorb the brine better. I don't know what her science is, but I do know what her cooking's like. So. Look at that yellow fat, amazing. Grass-finished beef. Grandma calls it prairie graze. I was trying to just brine it in the pot, but they weren't fitting properly. This works a lot better. For better or worse, my recipe was correct, and the amount of brine I made was good for about 15 pounds of meat. I had pulled out an extra flat. I thought that maybe my recipe was not quite as accurate. So I had about 5 pounds more meat. I had about 20 pounds total of meat, and the brine didn't quite cover it, so I had to make an extra liter of brine real quick. What this towel does is make sure that the brine is in contact with all of the meat. So that was part 1 of getting ready for dreaming up the grasslands together. There'll be more, but on Tuesday when we get into making burnt ends. Cheers.